Total solutions for any mix, any volume. All managed by Panasim Enterprise Edition. Panasonic. Total solutions beyond SMT.
Welcome to ACE Production Technologies. I'm delighted to be joined by Alan Cable, who's the President and CEO. Welcome, Alan. Nice to see you again.
Trevor, nice to see you again.
Now, last time we spoke about your selective soldering systems, which are pretty advanced and one of the leading machines in the business. But today we're going to talk about something completely different, which is your lead tinning systems and I believe a service. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, lead tinning has been around for more than 30 years, closer to 40 years, and originally it was just for replenishing legacy components to remove the oxides and so forth. Lead tinning is still all for high-rel applications, primarily at least, and still today it's come back again for removing gold. There's been a new edict out, a JMIL standard 0001 Rev F, that says absolutely no more gold is left to be present in the solder joint for gold embrittlement. So that means that all gold-plated parts have to be gold washed, which is actually a solder dipping process.
So that's no gold on the intermetallic?
Yeah, in addition to that, all components today all new components are only made in RoHS compliance, a tin finish. For the military, for high-rel, they have to be re-solder dipped back to a tin lead finish, and so that's another reason. The two of them combined are the main drivers for lead tinning.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I mean, and before it used to be all through-hole components. So now with this different finishes, you're using non-through-hole as well, surface mount.
Yeah, again, I break it down into three categories. They're through-hole components. Basically, any leaded component that goes through the board is simple. It's a dipping process. Any component that's a surface mount is not a dipping process, it's a wave pass-through process to minimize the amount of solder left on there. And the third and most difficult process is for fine pitch quad flat packs that are so very expensive, pre-formed, have to be handled with kid gloves all the way through the tinning process, including wash, dry, and in our case, we do a visual inspection on them all on the same machine.
Okay, great. So you've got one of your systems behind us here, which maybe you could talk us through how this works. But it looks like it's a closed loop system for basically cleaning quad flat packs, etc.
Well, this machine actually is a jack of all trades. It will handle any of the three categories that I've mentioned. It'll do all through-hole components with fixtures. It will do all surface mount components, again with fixtures. And a wave, and it will also do quad flat packs, which is unusual because that's the trickiest of all three of the processes. Right. Here we have the top off on the machine, but this is basically the robotic head that moves up and down, side to side. Mm-hmm. In this case, we have a vacuum end effector on it, which is magnetically coupled, and it will actually move over and come down and pick up a quad flat pack after we've looked at it with a vision camera. The vision camera assures that we're on center. Okay. And it will pick up the QFP, process it through fluxing, preheat, initial solder dipping to remove the oxides or the gold in this case. Mm-hmm. It will also come back and repeat that again with a second solder pot to put on a fresh coating of virgin solder alloy. Mm-hmm. We then use a look-up camera that scans all of the leads on all four sides and makes sure there's no bridging, right. which is the devil when it comes to right, yeah. to solder dipping because they're so fine pitch. Right. So the unique way we do it is called the side wave, not the traditional dip vertically and articulate out. Mm-hmm. That works, but often leads bridging on the last 2 or 3 leads. Mm-hmm. The way we do it, we go in rather horizontally and then rotate slowly coming out, and it works fantastically, and that's unique to us.
That is, I've seen the demonstration of it. It's very unique because obviously when you pick a quad flat pack up, or you dip it, should I say, it picks up a lot of solder in different volume, which causes bridging. But if you bring it in from the side, you can essentially tin and not have all these different.
You get the mechanical advantage of the downward force of the solder as it cascades over, and extract out And basically it's like a mechanical wiping process, and it's almost foolproof.
Right, that's great. So then after that, it comes back. It can go. You do have actually got a wash bath here as well.
Yes, there's a wash and a hot air dry station to remove all that excess moisture. We also will come back and look up from the bottom side, the bottom, and look at all the leads to make sure there's no bridging. If there is, we have a rebuild cycle built in to go ahead and touch up that one particular side one time only. And if it doesn't clean up again, we'll just execute that off the machine in a different position.
So now, as you said at the beginning, we're doing this as a product that you're selling to OEMs and contract manufacturers, but you also have a service component to this system. Can you tell us a bit how that works?
Well, we offered the service as an offshoot of selling the machines. We've been selling the machines for many, many years, but we've been asked so many times, well, if you're selling the machines, you're expert in machine building and in the process, why don't you just set up and run process for us too? So we have, and we've been doing that for a couple of years now, and it's turning out to be very effectively financially rewarding, shall we say. And at the same time, if a customer wants to buy a machine for their own use, and we are running their process for them, then it's almost a drop in. You know, basically when we deliver a machine for them, we've already got their process worked out. And so there's no basically learning curve, let's say. And we can put the machine in. It's truly a turnkey operation, and away they go.
Excellent. Now that's a US service that you're running at the moment, though, isn't it?
Yeah, we do sell the machines outside of the U.S., but primarily the service part of it is inside the U.S. Yeah.
Well, very interesting, Alan. Good to see some new equipment again here at Apex, and we look forward to talking to you again sometime in the near future. Thank you.
My pleasure.